Someone needs to take the show Worth It away from me. I've just watched like 47 episodes. I'm so hungry. Hello everyone, I am here today to share with you guys. You will notice, by the way, that I have a full face of makeup on. Rare is it now that I have a video that I start with all my makeup done. Usually you guys just see me roll right out of bed and get right into filming, but no. You have end of day Rachel today. Is she different when she films? We'll find out. I thought it'd be fun to show you guys the application of some of my favorite new drugstore products, but also talk about some of my least favorite drugstore new products. New drugstore products. Products that are new for the drugstore. I'm always sitting down here, we're testing out new products, we're doing full day wear tests, and I thought it'd be really interesting to kind of share with you guys what I keep going back to on the days when I'm not testing makeup. What am I using? And also, what am I absolutely not using because it's bad. And also, in case you see my hand, it's a little butchered, that happened on Saturday in a video. You can watch it if you want. Make sure you subscribe. It's right down here. New videos here every Thursday and Sunday, and I also do new videos on my RachhLoves Life channel every single Saturday if like cooking and lifestyle, cleaning, that kind of thing is more your jam. I actually just made cookies today for the video that went up. It's going up on Saturday or went up on Saturday. I don't know when this video is going up, but oh, you need to watch it. Whew. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. So let's start with the canvas, if you will, the blank skin on my face. There are actually two primers that I've been really enjoying lately. One I tested very recently. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but I'm going to show you guys the application of the one that you haven't seen me use before. That makes sense. It's end of day Rachel, I don't know what's going on. First of all, the primer that's actually a primer. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. I tested this out in a recent video and I love it. First of all, it smells like watermelon. Sometimes this doesn't happen with drugstore products and they don't smell good at all. But this one smells fantastic. It gives a little bit of stickiness, tackiness to the skin, which you want if you're going to apply some foundation on top. It's going to help it adhere better. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It just feels really good on the skin. It smells really good on the skin, and it's a great price point. Like e.l.f. has such insane prices. It's amazing. The one that I did apply today, I wanted to talk about because it's something that I haven't seen a lot of people using, and it's not even technically a primer. It is by L'Oreal. It is their Revitalift 1.5% pure hyaluronic acid, and I had been using this recently just as hyaluronic acid. Love me some hyaluronic acid. If you have not used it on your face, it like plumps up the skin. It helps hold like 1,000 times its weight in water and moisture, and it just like sucks that into the skin. It's so good. I was using it a couple of weeks back and I was sort of patting it into my skin, wasn't even thinking about it, and I noticed that it started to feel like really tacky on my skin when I was patting it in, and I was like, that's weird. And then it dissipates within like a minute or two, and then I continued on with my skincare routine, didn't even think about it. It wasn't until a couple of days later that I was pressing it into my skin in the morning and I was like, huh, aren't I in love with primers right now that are gripping like this? Why am I not using this as a primer? So lo and behold, I have been doing it and it's awesome. Now the tackiness does wear off because it is a serum. It is going to sink into the skin, so you have a limited time with that tackiness versus a primer that is meant to be gripping, which is going to be a little bit more tacky for a little longer, but it's not instantaneous. You do have a little bit of time, and then I go in with my foundation, kind of press it on top with a sponge, which is the method that I like the best when I'm doing this kind of thing with the gripping primers. And yeah, it's been awesome. Plumps up the skin, which everyone wants. Everyone wants plump skin. I don't know who you are, but you want plump skin. You want plump, juicy, I don't know. I just want my skin to look like my 3-year-old's. I don't feel like that's a lot to ask for. So this, amazing. Now moving on to blush, and you guys probably know, in love with these ColourPop blush sticks. Whew, I use them all the time on everything. I love them so much. Consistency, price point, everything about these shades. And how I've been really enjoying applying it actually is with the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Stipple Brush. Whoa. It's basically a blush brush, but it has a bunch of hairs that are a lot longer to give that kind of stippling effect. It's like if someone did a really bad job on trimming your hair, but like in the best way possible for blush application. Any sort of cream-like blush product, which I've been a big fan of. Are you guys also a big fan of the blushes that are more of a creamy consistency? I can't get enough of them. This has been so amazing for me. I don't know why I haven't been doing this the whole time. So good. Now moving on to a product that I didn't like. We're just like flowing through the order of the products. So we're mixing in some products that I didn't like in with the products I did like. Gotta keep you on your toes. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Brightening Rocks. Now these are this is supposed to be a brightening powder, and I remember testing it out and it was really bright, like highlight bright, but they also launched the highlight in this same collection, so it was a little confusing. And then they have inside, instead of pearls, it's like little like mini marshmallows, and they have all these different tones that are supposed to color correct, but I saw it as sort of a brightening powder, so I was starting to apply it, kind of dusting it on the high points of my face, but kind of all over. I would do the same thing with, like, I have a Laura Mercier powder, which is similar but in a pressed form, and I was like, great, this is similar, lower price point, I'm gonna love it. And lo and behold, I did not enjoy it. It emphasized the texture on my skin, any enlarged pores. It just wasn't it for me. Now onto the brows, and this is a product that I do really enjoy, that I've been using a ton of recently, and it is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Pomade. Pomade? This is the shade Soft Brown, which works really well for my brow shade, and I find it just easy to apply. It's not too creamy that you just feel like you're fully drawing in your brows, but it's also not so hard that you're not getting a lot of product, or it's sticking to the brush and not to your, like, the skin under your brows. It's just that perfect combination. The price point is good. I use this more often than the ABH brow pomade. I think this is awesome. It's an awesome product. Now onto eyeshadows, and I have some products I really like and a lot very particular when it comes to eyeshadow, apparently. So let's start off on a good note. The product that I do really like. Now I will say this isn't new. This is just new to me. This is about a year old. I believe it launched like last September or so. And they are these eyeshadow palettes from e.l.f. Why has no one told me about these yet? These blend out so well. They are pigmented, they are gorgeous, they are creamy. I have here New Classics and Opposites Attract, which are my two favorites. They also have one that's more colorful. It's called the 18 Hit Wonder. Don't love this one as much, but these two I have been using so much. So that's what I used on my eyes today. I'll kind of walk you through the different shades that I'm using while I'm talking about them. I do notice a little bit of kickback when I dip my brush into it. There's a little bit of powderiness there, but it does dissipate once you put it onto the eyes. I'm not noticing any fallout under my eyes in the process of applying these colors, layering these colors. They're so smooth. They're so smooth. In particular, I think my favorite is Opposites Attract if I had to pick one, because I use the shade Fresh, Sassy, Cheeky, and Saucy. These kind of ones right here so much. Fresh is really great for like blending out, so you have that nice smooth fade up to the brow when you're doing like a crease color, you know? And then Cheeky's such a fun like summery peach tone, and then I'll tone it down with Saucy, and then I'll even go in to New Classics. I love this rose gold shade at the bottom down here. This one on the lid. Oh, now are these my absolute favorite metallics, like the most metallic thing I've ever tried? No. Do I think that they're still really pretty? Absolutely. And considering how many shadows you get, the fact that the shadow stories are very complementary, everything seems to tie together very well. There seems to be a lot of thought that went into these. Using them so much recently, I cannot stop. And then some palettes that I don't like. This is the 35G Bronze Goals by Morphe. No, honestly, I thought I was gonna love this. Like, look at the shades. This is just stunning. Everything about this I was stoked about. I was ready. I wanted it all over my eyes. And then I put it on and I was like, wow, that was awful. The mattes were dry and not super pigmented, and the metallics and like really shiny glossy shades were so dull on my eyes. I couldn't believe it. I kept using different shades because I was like, it must be this one shade. Nope, must be this other shade. Like, I could not find one that I liked, which was so disappointing because the colors are gorgeous, and oftentimes I do like Morphe eyeshadows. Like, I've had good experiences with them, but this one, no thank you. And more eyeshadows that I didn't like. These are the La Petite palettes from L'Oreal. Now, I have tried these before, tested them out a couple of different times. I don't like them. They're very dry. They didn't stick to the eyes well, and I felt like every single time that I blended them out, they would just disappear. And then I put more color on and then it would disappear. I don't know what was happening to them, but they were gone. And then I was trying multiple shades to like get it to pop, try different, you know, shade combinations and things like that. But then I looked in the mirror and it just looked like I had on like one shade. I don't know what happened with these. They just weren't a good fit for me, and yeah, I just think there's better from L'Oreal. And some more things, let's see. Ooh, the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Eye and Face Gloss. This is one of the few products from their Jelly Pop collection that I did not like. First of all, it's very, well, it is goopy, but we all knew that. It's a gloss. That's fine, but it's a very glittery gloss. And so I was thinking, oh, that might be pretty on the eyes, either underneath a shadow or just on top for that glossy finish. Tried that and it just creased very easily. It might be nice for like a photo shoot or something like that. Not for every day though. And then I tried it on the face. Again, this is not for me. It was just way too glittery when I was applying it. And maybe that's your thing. Maybe you enjoy that. But for me, this was just like a no thank you. And then lastly, the Little Trios from Wet n Wild. This is part of their like crystal something collection. I felt like the concept was really interesting. I loved the triangular shape. I thought that was really cool, but these shadows just didn't have a lot of payoff for me. Didn't really get many of the color stories. I understood, like obviously amethyst. We have a lot of purples here, but there was no like matte purple or something cool, something different within these. A mascara that I don't love, and I can't even find it. I thought I put it in my little, I have like a little drawer of products that I don't like. Ow, I just hit my hand in my light. But lo and behold, it is not in there. So it is the Revlon So Fierce mascara. And I tried it out. I saw a couple of different people talking about it, saying they really liked it, and I tried it out and I just wasn't wowed. For me, sometimes it's also the way that they market it. If they're like, ooh, this is supposed to give you like the most like va-va-voom, crazy dramatic lashes, like you have false lashes on 18,000 times the volume and the length and the lift, you'll get better grades in school. Like I believe them. I fall in and I'm like, yes. Yes, give me more of that. It just didn't work well for me. My lashes are very, very flat and they want to droop down. So oftentimes I'll have to recurl them, but with this one I had to recurl them twice. It just wasn't exciting. It just wasn't an exciting mascara find for me. Okay, back on track with a good product. This is by Maybelline. It is their Tattoo Studio Gel Pencil Liner. This is in the shade Black, which is probably the one I've been using the most often. There's a brown one as well that I've been enjoying, but it is very, very creamy, and yet it stays put so well. Although there's one thing that I do that I feel like makes a big difference in how this stays when you tightline. So what I do is I apply it, keep my eye kind of open so that like flap of skin isn't like sitting right against my watering eyes, and then I'll kind of like wave at it. Or you can take like a fan if you're super fancy, like one of these bad boys. Thank you, Tarte, by the way. I use this almost daily. And just kind of let it dry for a second and then continue on. It makes such a difference. It's just a small thing, but I find that makes all the difference. It sets it, it is locked and loaded, it is not going to move, it's not going to transfer. If you do that one little trick, it does make a big difference. And then of course, what is this video about drugstore products if I don't also include my love, my heart, my soul? This is the RachhLoves Pixie Layers Highlighting Palette. This is the product that I created with Pixie. We have the two base highlights at the bottom, nice big sizes, super creamy formula, blinding highlight, but something you can layer up, which is what I love about it. So if you wanted just a little, like a little kiss of highlight, you can do that. If you want to make it super over the top, it is a wet or dry formula. So you just spray on a little setting spray or some water or something, pop it on, and it is blinding. These are up here, the customizers. You can make it more pink, more bronze, add a little pop of purple, which is what I have on the inner corner of my eye today, mixed with this color right here. This is Lace, my ride or die. Of course, I made it. Of course it's my ride or die. By the way, big shout out to everyone who sends me DMs on Insta. I see them all, or as many as I possibly can. And seeing you guys in store picking it up or trying it out for the first time or sharing what your favorite shade combination is, like, oh my gosh, it means so much to me, so much to me. And by the way, everyone who is asking, all my Canadian girls should be at Shoppers Drug Mart now. So go and call your local store, check if they have it in stock yet or they've put it up. It should have been in store as of like maybe about 10 days ago. Should be in stores now. If you do see it, send me a DM. Send me a DM on Insta. Slide into my DMs, I'm just saying. Now on to lip product. So I have a couple of different ones here because I like to mix and match customize it, you know. But the shade I use as a base the most often, this isn't a super new launch, but I still really like it and I want to talk about it. This is by Rimmel London and is their Stay Satin Liquid Lip Color. This is the shade As If, and it's one of those light nude, not too orange, not too brown, not too pink shades that just work so well for me that I feel like I need to have copies of it all over my house. I need it in my studio, I need it in my purse, I need it in the kitchen in case I need a touch up. The formula is so light, it's not a drying matte, but it's not a like juicy gloss either. So it's that nice fine balance, really, really pigmented, and the shade is just, it's just easy breezy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, that's what I want. And then layered on top, yet again, I feel like this whole video has been about this brand. Like it's just by accident, I just really like these products. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Juicy Gloss, and I put the pink one on top. Does it say the shade name? Sometimes e.l.f. just doesn't tell you at all and you have to guess. Okay, so this is Watermelon Pop and this is Cherry Pop. So I use Watermelon today and it is such a, like a juice, it's a juicy gloss. Not a lot of color in this. I layer it on top of literally everything and it's just glossy, but it's not sticky at all, which is hard sometimes to come by when you're looking at one of these like really thick glosses, which I'm a big gloss girl. I love a good gloss. I like a thick gloss, but this one has no tackiness to it. It just feels like a hydrating lip oil, but it's really, really shiny. So I'll typically just kind of press it on top of any lip color like this one, and it just adds a little bit of a shine. Not a lot of color to it, but like if you want a good cheap gloss that's gonna feel hydrating, that's gonna give your lips that like plumpness without the stickiness, this is a good one. Also another one, like I've only started to play it, like only like 3 or 4 days, but I do want to mention it because I have been really enjoying it. It is by Revlon. It is their Ultra HD Vinyl Lip Polish. This is the shade Act Natural. I have it on my lips right now on top of the Rimmel one. It has more pigment in it, like a lot more pigment than the glosses do. And it has a nice shine to it. It's a little bit more tacky than the e.l.f. ones, but I really like the formula. I really like the color payoff. It's glossy without being too over the top, I guess is the best way I can describe it. And this is such a pretty like summery pinky nude that I keep applying it over and over again. Now, granted, I'm not, like it's not, I'm trying to think of like it's a little, yeah, it's a little sticky, but not something like I notice. Like it's not like every time I talk, I'm like, what is that on my lips? In case that's something that bothers you, I did want to mention that, but like, again, gloss girl. Big fan. So I have a question for all of you. This is a very important question, hard-hitting questions at the end of the video. What is your number one, don't give me number 2, just number 1, new drugstore launch, something that you feel like is so incredible, great quality, great price point? Leave me a comment down below. I need to know. And make sure you check out these videos on the side in case you have missed any. We do playlists here. We have high and low rated products tested. We do drugstore, we do Sephora. Maybe there are videos here that you haven't seen yet. You may be missing videos right now. I'm just saying. So thank you for staying tuned to the end of the video. Pat on the back, you deserve it. Thank you for watching, thanks for your love. I hope you guys are having a fantastic, fantastic day, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Love you all, mwah.